Your shout, bro. Stop asking.
No, because I need him to say. So I. He
said. He just said.
He didn't.
Sell him. He just said sell him. Good.
Right. Why don't we just have all the categories? You decide them all.
All right, sound.
Feel bad watching him for United sometimes.
Spineless bellends.
Oh, sorry. You know.
No loyalty.
Do you know what? Put him in the brilliant category.
You got Harry Maguire in.
Put him in there.
You want to put Harry Maguire brilliant? Can you put some snow or something on the screen then?
This is a tier list where we'll be ranking Manchester United squad so far this season. Jay here of Stretford, Paddock. This is the tier list. Joining me is Joe Smith. How are we doing, Joe?
Good. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. And of course, Anna McCullough. How are we doing, Macca?
Hello.
That's the spirit. That's the festive spirit
Happy
we like
Hanukkah
to see.
And all that.
Yes, we are. You know, broad church for everyone on
Mubarak.
this channel.
It's a time
Merry
for
Christmas.
reflection, isn't it,
Yes,
Jay? It's a time for reflection.
It's a time for screaming at your children.
Yeah,
that's what I always think sums up Christmas. Screaming at your children, falling out with your family.
Christmas isn't for children anyway. Why does everyone go like, oh, for the kids and that? No, it's not.
I know, it's for me getting money off my mum even though I'm 41 years old.
Yeah, don't give me presents, Mum. I'll have
just
the money.
Have some money towards
Baileys.
Bills.
Yeah. Bailiffs.
Bailiffs.
You've been reading my text.
So what we're going to be doing today then, Jay?
Sorry, yes, we digress. We're going to be ranking Manchester United's players, how they've been performing so far this season. So we've made them into a little tier list.
What are the categories?
The categories are brilliant.
Oh.
I want a reaction here as well.
As good as it
Brilliant.
gets. Ooh.
Good.
Oh, nice.
Average. Needs game time.
Oh.
Selling.
Get out of my club. Get out.
Working with talent.
My
there.
club.
I love it. So get involved in the
Slag.
comments. Let us know what you think about our rankings. Give us your own rankings, whether you agree with us, disagree with, all that jazz. And make sure you're subscribing to the channel. So should we start at the back? Should we start with David De Gea?
Yep.
Let's start with him. Joe, you start us off. You set us off.
You hate him.
He has massively exceeded expectations for me this season. The last 2 years have been a sort of steady downward decline for David. I say not even that steady. He was here and he just dropped to sort of being slightly below average. When you look at save percentage, when you look at errors leading to goals, the last 2 years he's been poor.
Yeah.
And then this season he's back to being one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. I don't think he can be anywhere other than brilliant. He's been one of United's best players.
Ooh, it's a bold statement. Adam McCullough. Do you agree?
He's been the one constant in Manchester United's team. I agree with Joe. I'd like to argue with him for argument's sake, but
you do like
it's
to
your favourite
argue.
thing in the world.
It is your favourite
I
pastime.
think we're going to go with brilliant.
Yeah, got to be on it, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been perfect, but it has been very, very good. And I think brilliant is probably the most likely one of the categories there. So agree with all that. There's no point in arguing.
I do think there's some people that would be extremely harsh, sit at home and go, he's only been good because of his distribution and stuff. But I think that's improved.
There's been a couple of goals where you look at him and go, he could have done better there. But overall, yeah. No. Dean Henderson. Different story for old Hendo. At one point in the summer, it looked like he was going to be our first choice. Obviously got COVID. David De Gea's been brilliant, as we've just discussed. So he's definitely not number one choice anymore. Joe, Dean Henderson, where'd you put him in? We've not seen a lot of him.
No,
How can you judge him?
I think it has to be needs game time. And that doesn't necessarily mean play him instead of De Gea. But if you're looking at the categories, I don't want to sell him. I think he's not had full chance to sort of prove himself. You can't say average, good or brilliant because he's barely played. So it has to be needs game time for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Maka, what do you say?
Yeah, by needs game time, I think that means on loan, innit?
Yeah, wherever.
When we're saying that, because he's not going to get it at Old Trafford.
No.
So I do think maybe you send him out on loan. Depending on the price, I would skirt with selling him as well. Because if someone comes in and says, here's 50 mil for him, I'd snap their hands off for it.
Yeah.
Do you think you could get that for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's English.
Yeah.
How much is
Hyped.
Ramsdale? 30 million?
Yeah, he's English and he's hyped.
And he's young, especially for a goalkeeper.
And he's better than Ramsdale.
Very young for a goalkeeper. So we're all settled on needs game time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move on then to the next category. Well, there you can see there. Get involved in the comments. Do let us know what you think. Diogo Dalot. It wasn't that long ago that we all thought Dalot was going to go to Roma to join Jose Mourinho.
Well, that's the reason.
Heading to.
Sorry, that's the reason we do this sort of halfway through the season. Because at the start of the season, this would have been selling. Or for me, I would have been in the sort of, it doesn't look like it's working. No. He's been on loan, he was all right, but not enough to sort of shake things up. Now the new system, we need front foot players who can build up from the back, more comprehensively. I think he's been good. I don't think you would say brilliant. He's not played enough to say that yet, but I think average would be harsh because average for Dalot has been not playing, and he's been better than that. So I think he has to be in that good category, which is a big surprise for me.
I'll go needs game time still.
Do you think?
I do think he's been good, but I think the sample size is too small to say that. And I do think he needs more game time, albeit at Manchester United. He'll get that. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka looks like he's going to miss some fixtures over Christmas. So you look like Dalot will get the chance to kind of cement a spot there. I do think it's been close to good, but I think when good's the second banner down...
But the problem is needs game time is the second worst. Do you know what I mean?
But I do think he needs more game time. But I think he's earned that.
Yeah, me
do you get
too.
it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what you're saying, you're the decider.
I'd put him in an average then, because I think it's somewhere between those two. I think he had a bit of a stinker against Villarreal. He's looked a lot more positive since then.
That's a good point.
And I think that it'd be... Although he's erring towards good, I still think there's a little bit of a question mark there.
Right.
I think we can get all carried away with a few good games and go, well, that's it now. But we have to remember that the level of the opposition and also some of the performances. I like Diogo Dalot, I'm a big fan of his. And
he likes us as well, follows us.
He's a good lad, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's good vibes, but I think, so far average. And I hope by the end of the season he's in the brilliant category. Maka, I'll stay with you. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, there was a time when this wasn't even a debate. He was right up near the top, but those times seem a long time ago.
I think you're going average again, aren't you?
Yeah.
For his level, he's definitely been average. Still been good in some games, been bad in others. He's now injured. Diogo Dalot's challenging for his spot. The mere fact that we're considering Diogo Dalot as potentially taking his spot shows you maybe where Wan-Bissaka has declined. But I still think there's some player there. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Like, what I've found recently is everyone seems excited by what the coach can do for some of their favourite players.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, yeah. Like, when he comes in and when he gets with Fred and Pogba and, Rashford and whatever, these guys are going to be amazing under him. But then they don't give maybe some of the players that they don't like that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And those players are going to improve
That's
too.
A good point.
I think Wan-Bissaka is one of them. I'll go average.
I think average.
Average, I agree with that. Stick him in the average category. As always, get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. Go on, we'll move on to the next one. Harry Maguire. Joe, you've been one of Harry Maguire's more vocal supporters over, not just recently, but over the last couple of years. He's not having the best of times, is he?
No.
It's especially by the standards that we've seen from Harry Maguire. Where'd you put him on this tier list?
Due to the way the categories are set up, needs game time is an odd one. Sell it. I don't think sell him at all, but I don't think you can say good or brilliant. He's looked a bit better recently, but I still think average. I think needs game time wouldn't make sense, and I don't think anyone should say we should sell him. So I'd have to go average.
I actually think, right, go on, Maka, you can go and then I'll give the deciding vote.
Personally,
Yeah.
I agree with Joe.
Right.
But also at the same time, when I think about him as a Manchester United player, for me to decide whether he is a Manchester United player or not, he needs more game time.
Yeah, no.
So I need more time to judge.
That's where I'm at.
But go with that then.
I do think he's been below average as well.
So you're going to go...
But I don't. I'm not saying sell him either, because again, like what I said before, he'll probably improve under Rangnick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But playing higher up the pitch might help him.
I think it makes sense. I think if we were 20 games further down the line, I think Harry Maguire would be fine. I think he just needs to get back into his rhythm.
His problem
I don't think he's having a good season so far. It's been getting better, though. The earlier the season, he was having some right stinkers, so I think needs game time makes sense.
Fair enough.
Take the armband off him. Seriously, that's his problem. He shouldn't be captain.
I think it's deeper than that.
He's out of his depth.
That's one debate for another podcast. Joe, Victor Lindelof.
Good. I wouldn't put him in that top category.
Agreed.
Our best centre back this season.
He has. There's not been really any issues with Victor Lindelof. I know there's a lot of fans that aren't too fond of him, but I think he's having a good season.
Again,
I'll stay with you.
This one
Varane.
to me speaks for itself. Needs game time.
Needs game time.
Just not played enough.
I'd go good still.
Do you think?
You know why? Every time he plays, he makes a difference, bro.
It does, but
every time he plays, he makes a difference. That tells me we need him. I get what you're saying. Needs game time. I'd go good, Maybe then you drop him in the middle and do average, but
no,
I'd go good.
No, I'm going to go good. Stick him in the good as the deciding vote. I just don't feel it's fair putting him in the same categories as Dean Henderson and Harry Maguire. I don't. I just think he's been better.
Or is it fair putting him in the same defence?
Maybe not.
Champions League, Varane. Luke Shaw, Joe.
Again, we haven't got a category that sums up where Luke Shaw has been this season. He's been, I think,
picked these
United's most disappointing player.
I agree.
In terms of the standard of last season and the standard of this season, I think he's been worse than Maguire this season. I think Maguire's been poor, but I think Luke Shaw's been as bad as he's ever been. He doesn't seem to care about defending anymore. He's not tracking his man. His positioning, the Liverpool game, you go on about it, but the position for 4 of those 5 goals was just non-existent. He's like up Maguire's arse for 3 of them. And you think, you've got the best winger in the world that you're meant to be defending here.
Shockingly bad performance.
So I guess, again, based on the categories, I guess I'd have to say needs game time, because maybe he needs to play his way out of this. I wouldn't sell him, but he certainly hasn't been good or even average.
Maka?
I agree that he's not been great. I disagree that he's been worse than Maguire. But yeah, he's not been great at all, has he? It's hard though. Do you go average?
No, he's not been average. He's been below average, Luke Shaw.
If you want to go average,
you
can go average.
I don't think he's been as bad as Maguire. And I kind of feel
disagree.
like he's level with Wan-Bissaka.
Really?
I disagree on both.
Because I think
Wan-Bissaka's
used to outnumber me, so go.
I'd say he needs game time. I think out of the 3, I think Shaw's been the worst out of the 3. None of them have covered themselves in glory this season, by the way.
Yeah.
Alex Tellez, Maka, I'll stay with you. Alex Tellez.
That surprised me, Alex Tellez, average.
Yeah. I don't want to overdo this debate. Joe, average. Yeah, I'll go with that. We've seen some good moments.
Dalot's been better than him, innit?
No,
I think
no. You don't think so?
I think Tellez
and with that, Tellez, you've got that added dead ball speciality thing. I know.
Isn't it weird how we all read the game?
I know, but I just think that the game where Dalot was just skinned so many times against Villarreal,
by
Danjuma, that's harder to fight.
But then I think was that the goal where Tellez scored?
Yeah,
Tellez was crap that
he
game,
was, but not
scored.
as bad.
Do you know
as
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but then I think Dalot's delivery is better.
Yeah, maybe.
Like some of the passes Dalot makes.
But they're in the same category.
They're in the same. I mean, it's negligible, isn't it? It's not like one of them's flying, the other one's terrible. They're both at a similar-ish level. Scott McTominay, Joe.
Average. I think he's been poor. I think he's been slightly better under Rangnick. I think it would be unfair to say he needs more game time because he plays every week. Yeah. And I wouldn't sell him, so I would put him alongside the Wan-Bissaka, Tellez, sort of in that category.
Maka.
I'd like him to be sold, but he's bang average, isn't it?
Yeah.
Average. We'll go average. Let's go average. Yep. Move on from the next one. Fred. And that's the most Fred picture I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Joe, we'll start with you.
No, start with me. Fred's been good, man.
Good. Yeah, we're just going good for Fred, which I didn't think I'd say
he's
a
had
few
some
months
stinkers,
ago,
though. He was shocking against Arsenal. He was shocking against Wolves, but he's had some really good games.
He was shocking in the first half at the weekend, and then the second half he was good.
Arsenal did all right, didn't he?
First half he was terrible.
Sorry, the first half, he stood on De Gea, but he still set up a goal. He's just
He gave the ball away
he set up a
3
goal,
times.
gave a ball away, stood on his goalkeeper's leg for a goal, and then got us a penalty. His most Fred performance ever.
Yeah.
Nemanja, just like everything happening through Fred. Nemanja Matic, Maka, let Maka recover. Nemanja Matic.
It's tough, this. I think simply by the fact that he never plays anymore, I'm leaning towards selling.
Shocking.
I really like Matic, and I pick him a lot in sort of predicted 11s, and I think he offers great balance and he's good on the ball. But where does he fit on that list? He barely plays.
See, if we were approaching summer, you go sell him, don't you?
Yeah.
I think because we're not in the summer and we're short.
I wouldn't sell him in January.
Yeah. I think just needs game time. I think when in terms of the categories, I don't think he. Do you know what? No, I'm going to
You're right, because he should play more than some of them other men. So maybe he does need game time.
All right, you convinced me. Needs game time.
Game time.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Let's move on to the next one. Donny van der Beek, the most spoken about player in Manchester United's history. That is a fact. Joe, I'll start with you. Donny van der Beek. We know his thoughts, but we'll get to him in a minute. Where do you stand with Donny van der Beek?
Needs game time.
Tin hat
Probably.
on there. Tin hat on there.
I'd have to say needs game time.
Especially in terms of this. Doesn't matter whether you're a Donny van der Beek fan or not. And
you have to say that.
Yeah, I'm a bit jolly out with him, but needs game time fits in with it because I don't want to see more of the kid.
But it's like me, like I wouldn't. Sometimes I don't pick him in my team, but I think he needs game time, and it's like, he doesn't maybe deserve it at this time, but he needs it.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, who seems to have a big
now, aren't we?
lump on his head. Where do you stand with Bruno Fernandes?
I think he's been average. It's weird because, actually, you know what? If we're putting Varane in good, I think he's been good. I think a lot's being made of the fact that he's currently on a bit of bad form, but he's still got like the most Champions League assists in consecutive games for an English club. He's still got 4 Premier League goals, I think, or a handful of Premier League goals, handful of Premier League assists.
His good is the next man's average.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, his average is the next man's
Sorry,
good.
yeah, that's it.
So for him, he's been average, but for the state of the club and the state
I agreed with you as well.
the state of attacking midfielders in the world, he's been good this season. I think it's unfair to say he's been average just because he's dropped a little bit.
All these geezers that think they're doing something when they go, we need to have a conversation about Bruno. You're not clever. You're not funny. You're not clever. You ever heard that?
They think they've spotted the thing that no one else has.
Yeah.
Forget all his goals and assists. He's not that good. Shut up.
No.
Right, so he's
Put
in the
him in
good
good.
category. Jadon Sancho.
Yes.
My favourite Jadon. Where are you putting him?
This one's a bit more tricky,
He's been better than average,
but not good.
but he needs more game time.
Yeah. I think he's getting the game time now.
But then having said that, bro, you agree with me a lot when I say this. There's been a lot of games where I go, Jadon Sancho's our best player today.
yeah.
And it happens a lot.
No, it does. Even if he's not getting the goals and assists, I think it's between average and good. But for the sake
Average
of the
for him.
But for the sake of his trajectory this season, I would go good.
I'm with you. Good. Where are you going? We still want to hear from you, even though you've been.
I think
outgoing
it's
no matter
average
what
for
you
him.
say.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree with you.
We'll put him in the good category. I mean, it's kind of between them. Marcus Rashford, my favourite United player, but he's not having the best season so far.
No.
But there are mitigating circumstances
There
for
are.
that. Where do you put him?
Needs game time.
Needs game time.
I think
he needs
still
to
getting
get back into
his
his
fitness.
routine.
He needs managed properly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just game time.
No.
I think it's picking the right times to bring him in and out of the team. I think he's been really bad, like, as we're recording right now, in recent weeks. But if you're again, people were saying with Bruno, they go too far.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy's great, but we need to have a conversation. It's like, we don't need to have a conversation. No. First of all, he's just come back from a long layoff.
3 months out.
An injury.
Yeah. No preseason.
No preseason. Chopping and changing of managers.
Yeah.
You've got all those things to deal with. Like, they're going to have an impact on him. So, yeah, I think needs game time.
Yeah. Is that what you said? Needs game
time.
time. I think in the context of this as well, it doesn't necessarily needs game time. Doesn't mean they're not a good player. It just literally means we need to see they need to get back into the routine.
Yeah.
Paul Labille, Pogba. Macro, I'll start with you.
When he was fit, good.
Yeah. Yep.
But he's not been fit for how long now?
This is the thing with Pogba. This is my biggest bugbear with Pogba. His fitness. He's missed
He's
the
still
quarter.
got the most assists in the team and all
I know,
that.
but he's missed a quarter, I think, of his United potential games since he's been here at the club. And that is, you can't just ignore that because he misses important parts of the season as well when we really need him. I mean, you can argue we always need him, but yeah. So
it's hard to look when he's played. He's been good. He's not been average. He's not been brilliant.
But does he not?
Is that fair? But
does he not lose?
You could
something?
argue that because he's been injured all the time, he needs game time.
There has been a couple of games as well.
And some people would say
I think there's an argument to be made for selling, you know.
Was it at Atalanta away where he had a bit of a stinker?
Yeah.
Like, there has been, I mean, most of his games have been good, but there was one in Old Trafford as well. I can't remember which one it was. It's Everton or Villa. I was getting mixed up. Where he didn't have a very good game. I think he came on for one of them.
Especially with the change of manager.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll make my decision now. Needs game time. Especially with the new change of manager. But if you say he's brilliant, if you say he's good, if you say he's been average, needs game time, or sell him, I can understand people saying all of those.
There is an argument for all of them.
The sell him argument, which I can completely see, and I almost feel like I'm leaning towards, is based on the fact that it doesn't look like he's going to stay. It looks like he's going to leave at the end of the season. And then you think, let's get 10 million for him. Get him off the wage bill. Get him out of there. Get this sort of political...
It does feel like we need to move on.
He's just a political story all the time.
You political bastard.
If he's going to stay, I would say needs game time. But if he's going to leave at the end of the season, sell him now.
So what are you saying? What category are you going for? Because you said needs game time. You've said...
It's your shout, bro. Stop asking.
Because I need him to say. So I.
He said. He just said. He didn't sell him. He just said sell him.
For the sake of.
I thought you said needs game time.
Based on what we've seen, from the way him and his agent are acting about this new contract, I don't think he's going to sign one. So I would say sell him.
Waffle. Say it with your chest.
I did say it with my chest.
Put needs game time then, because I was going to put him as average, but you've levelled it out.
We need to save some space on the top for one guy at Brilliant. So
right. Mason Greenwood, the greatest young player in the history of association football.
Greatest of English football.
He will win it all. Joe, Mason Greenwood.
Say it all at the same time. Good.
Good.
Yeah, good. Put Mason Greenwood in good, and pretty sure that'll be brilliant by the end of the season.
Here we go.
Right, I don't know who this guy is. Cristiano,
Ronaldo.
some kid we bought from Juve.
He's been brilliant.
Has he been average for him though?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. He's been...
That's still better than everyone ever.
Single-handedly took us through the Champions League. We finished top with a game to spare, and we could easily have gone out.
And he's going to be our next manager.
If it wasn't for him, we would have gone out. He's going to be our next manager. No question of a doubt. He's our top scorer. He wins us games. Every goal he scored this season pretty much has been either to get us back level or to put us in the lead. He's been brilliant.
And one thing Rory keeps telling me, the reason he thinks we could win the Champions League is because of those two players in brilliant.
Yeah.
You've got the hair in net and you've got Ronaldo up top.
As long as it's not a penalty shootout. Because he'll miss and he won't save one.
He's saved loads this season.
Yeah, not in penalty shootouts.
I say loads, one.
He saved two, didn't he, against Watford?
But the other one counted.
Right, okay, we'll start with you here, because this is your boy, Anthony Martial.
I think he needs game time.
Right, okay.
But
not at United. Sell him.
But that could be on loan. That could be like with Donny treatment. I wouldn't sell him personally, but he could be sold as well.
I think it's got to be selling.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. Some of the performance I see from some of our wingers, he'd be starting for me. In terms of holding the ball up, he does it better than most of them. But it's like we've turned him into a number 9. It's like that number 9 shirt now is what you are being judged by. Do you know what I mean? If he still has the number 11 shirt and he plays on the left sometimes, he plays through the middle sometimes, I think you go, he's a good player to have. But then once you go, you're our main number 9. Yeah. I think this season he needs game time, but in the summer you're probably saying sell him.
I think sell him. If he wants to go in January, I think we'll let him go. There's talk of Barcelona.
But there's talk it could be a loan move, and I think that would be beneficial to United because I personally think wherever Martial goes, he performs well.
I do.
And then next summer you get more money.
That's like maybe Memphis Depay.
But
he goes to Lyon, he does well. Yeah. But that doesn't mean he was going to do well. Or Di Maria goes to PSG.
No, that's not what I said. I said
no, but money.
In terms of you get more money.
I just think I love Tony M, but I think we need to move on. I put him in and sell him.
Yeah,
and I feel bad watching him for United sometimes.
Spineless bellends.
Oh, sorry. You know,
no loyalty.
Do you know what? Put him in the brilliant category.
You got Harry Maguire in. Put him in there. You wants to put Harry Maguire brilliant.
Just making it up. Just lying.
He wants to make Dean Henderson captain.
Yeah.
And have Dalot managing us.
Fucking racist. Look at that. One black man in selling. Get these two out. It's a disgrace.
That's it.
I mean, Martial is literally the identical colour to me. Eric Bailly. Where are you putting Eric Bailly? Don't be scared of me.
Joe's still sweating.
I don't know where to
Joe's like, brilliant. Because needs world class. Let's make a new category.
And just because you're his best mate, needs game time don't even make sense for Eric Bailly. Because even if you wanted to give him game time,
he's been fit all this season. By the way,
he hasn't. He's been injured this season. Not the whole season, but he's had injuries. On that, I would say close to being selling, to be honest.
Right.
Because I feel bad for him at this point. He's a good enough player to be starting for a Champions League club. He isn't starting for United. I don't think he will
You're going to put Bailly there. I'm putting Maguire there.
Right, we're not going backwards now. This isn't tit for tat.
What are you two like the kids?
Right. This season, where were you putting Eric Bailly?
Good.
Right. You're putting him good. Wherever you put him.
Sell him.
Right, I'm putting him average. Let's put him in average.
He's a disgrace, bro.
There you go. Everyone's happy.
Let Maguire fucking stink the place out for 3 years.
Maguire's below him. Maguire is literally below him.
Yeah, he wanted Bailly to be sold.
Why don't we just have all the categories? You decide them all.
All right, sound.
I'm glad this has kicked off at some point because I knew it would. I thought the first half of this was very tame.
We've had accusations of racism.
When in doubt,
that's just permanent.
Get the card out.
Come on, let's get everyone cancelled. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll stay with you. Jesse Lingard.
I think he's been brilliant.
You've interviewed him about 18 times. Let's be
Jesse
honest
Lingard
about his
needs game
performances
time
for Manchester United this season.
Jesse Lingard needs game time, but also it's a similar position to what Anthony Martial,
I agree
probably
with that. Yep.
Donny van der Beek and all these guys are in. They want to play, they're not playing. You're good enough to maybe leave, but at this moment, are you good enough for Man United? There's all these sort of questions floating around. Some people will believe you are good enough for Man United, but you're not getting the game time. So, in my opinion, for the same reasons kind of you did with Pogba, you're probably going to sell him just to recoup a fee.
Racist. There you
right.
go.
So you're going to sell him. You're going to sell him.
I like him. He's been a really good player for United down the years. I think he gets a lot of disrespect. I think the whole, he's an academy, that shit joke that's been going on for 10 years undermines the things he's done for Manchester United. But he don't play very often. He's clearly good enough to play elsewhere at a top level. I think for his sake, sell him.
Pains me to say, I love Jesse Lingard, but yeah, I think we have to be realistic, don't we?
Yeah.
It looked like at one point he might be a Ralph Rangnick sort of player, but he isn't going to get game time. He wants to go. He wants to play in the World Cup and all that stuff.
We left that spot at the top up there for Zidane Iqbal as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. See that pass? That might be the greatest pass I've ever seen at Old Trafford.
I agree. I don't even think it's a debate. I think that's a fact.
It was so good, Wan-Bissaka got injured chasing after it.
So good. Wan-Bissaka got injured looking at it.
Wan-Bissaka looked at it and exploded
at how good it was. Listen, this has been the tier list for the season so far. Get involved in the comments. Let us know whether you agree with Macca, Joe, myself, or none of us. Don't forget as well to have a very Merry Christmas. Oh. Merry Christmas to you, Joe.
Merry Christmas, Jay.
Yeah, and you as well, Macca.
Happy holidays.
Yes, that's the Christmas cheer we all love. We love to see.
I celebrate Christmas, man. I'm just clouded.
Argumentative, even to the point of saying Happy Christmas.
No, I celebrate Christmas.
With a look of contempt. Yes.
They're taking our Christmas. Don't let them.
This has been the Let's All Get Cancelled tier list. I've been Jay. That's been Macca. That's been Joe Smith. Thanks for watching.